Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Hi.
Oh, did I click request? I don't know why I clicked requested. Even though that was me. Okay.
Okay, hold
Hello.
on 1 second.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get this volume up. Okay. Yay. Sorry for the delay, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm so excited to be talking to you today, Shaylin.
Yes, I'm
Um,
excited to be here.
Yay. So welcome everyone to another Out the Frame. And today I am talking to artist Shaylin Wallace. As usual, this is an ongoing series where we talk to Black digital artists about their practice, their work, and what they see for the future of the digital art space. So as we usually begin, instead of me doing a bio, I'm going to have you tell us about yourself. Who are you? What kind of art do you create?
Awesome. Hey, everybody. Welcome. I'm Shay the Surrealist. My name is Shaylin Wallace, and I'm a surreal artist based in Wilmington, Delaware. I create surrealistic yet minimalistic artwork. I started in 2014, and I would edit images on my phone using like apps like Pixar, Snapseed, Visco, and then years later, in like 2017, I saved up like all my money to get my first MacBook Pro and also a subscription to Adobe Photoshop. And I always use art as a way to like escape, but like over time it has become like a passion of mine. So I use it to express myself and to just show like my imagination in the way I see fit. And yeah, it's been an amazing journey, and I just love making art.
And where are you based?
I'm based in Wilmington, Delaware.
Okay, cool. How were you first introduced to NFTs? Because you were creating art prior to NFTs being an existence, right?
Yeah, so I originally heard about NFTs I think back in like August. I saw some like my friends from Twitter. They were like, get on like super rare and stuff, and they were like tweet about it, but I had no idea what it was, so I didn't pay any attention to it. And even when I did research, it was like kind of hard to. It just wasn't clicking to me what it was. So I was like, all right, well, it is what it is. And then it wasn't until like January of 20 of this year, someone from the Async Art, which is a NFT platform, they reached out to me and they wanted to basically set up a meeting with me to tell me about the platform and also about NFTs. So I was like, okay, this is a perfect opportunity for me, because I was still like I was on the outskirts, so I didn't really know what was going on. And then after the meeting I had with him, that's when literally like I finally understood what NFTs were. And then he basically was like, you apply to our platform, you get accepted in like within like 2 weeks, and then you can mint something. And I was like, okay, cool. And I actually didn't. I got accepted, but I didn't mint anything until like February, because I was still kind of skeptical. And I remember I minted one of my pieces from I think it was like a two-part series. It's called like Catch of the Day, First Catch of the Day, and Last Catch of the Day. So it was like two pieces in one. And I minted it on like a Friday night, and I was like, we'll see how it goes. And it literally like that next morning I woke up to like on the Discord like all these congratulations. I'm like, what's going on? And literally apparently like 9 hours later my piece sold for like 1.5 ETH within like the 9 hours I minted it. And I was like, oh, so this is real. So ever since then, I've been like, trying different platforms and just, minting every now and then, and like seeing how I can contribute, my artwork to the NFT world. So it's been crazy, but fast-paced past couple of months.
You have a very specific style with the type of art that you create, and you are one of very few Black surrealist artists that are on the blockchain. What is that like for you?
I think at this point I'm used to it, which is kind of like a bad thing to say, because I remember when I first started posting my artwork on my Instagram, it was, I saw a lot of, white people who make the same artwork I do, like surreal stuff, like photo manipulation and all that. And I was like, it was like, at first I didn't really show my identity. So when I would post my artwork, I was like, not confident in it. So I was like, you know what, I'm just posting my artwork. It's not really about me, it's about the art. So no one really knew who I was. But then, like, you know, I'll get comments like, yo, bro, this is so cool. Like, yo, my man, like, they'll just say all that. They all assume I was like a guy. I gotta say white guy because a lot of white guys do what I do. So it was like, eventually I was like, you know what? I'm gonna show who I am. So they know that I'm a Black woman who does this. And like, I always felt like I was an outsider in the space when it comes to that. So it was like, you know, I'm gonna own it. Like, I'm not, that's not gonna discourage me from doing what I love to do. So it's kind of just, you know, it was like, it is what it is. But, you know, it was over the years, I think I've seen a few more, you know, Black female surreal artists, which is cool. But like, to know I'm like one of the few is like, I'm setting an example for other people. Like, yeah, you can do this too. Like, it's fun. Like, do it.
Yeah, I think that makes a really big difference that you have chosen to reveal who you are and are not just, I mean, the art does speak for itself, but the fact that other artists can see themselves in you is truly revolutionary for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what does community mean to you when it comes to the NFT art space? I know that specifically with the surrealism community, um, it's been very hard for you to connect with other Black folk, but let's say with the wider community, because I know that you've been able to connect with other NFT artists, correct?
Hmm. Yeah, community. I think I probably wouldn't be here without the community of people I met, especially like, you know, other Black artists, because we really all support each other in an amazing way. Like, we will, like, you know, someone holds spaces or a clubhouse, we'll be there, we repost our work, you know, we'll like even like talk on like, you know, just individually, like people like, you know, just talk to me like through like Twitter, text me and stuff. And it's a different connection because like we feel like it's like our community feels like a family. So actually this I had a past exhibition last month, and I was actually able to see some of my fellow peers in real life, and the connection was really like amazing because it wasn't like a, oh hey, yeah, I met you on the internet. It was like, yo, what is up? Like, it was like, what's good? Like, so it was like we act like we act like we already like knew each other even though we never met in real life. So that was really cool. And like, it was like, yo, like, we really all here together. And it was like it just made me realize like what we're doing online is really impacting us, you know, offline. So the connection just felt deeper because like, yo, like, this is really like real. It's really us.
And you've been in the traditional art space for quite some time before you got on the blockchain. So what has, community wise, how has it been different? How is it being in the traditional art space and now connecting with that Black NFT artists?
Um, it feels. I feel more supported because, you know, I've been on Instagram since, you know, 2014, 2015. I've been on there for a while, and like, you know, the artists I've met, I think I could tell like I was on like the outskirts of it. Like, I knew I was a part of the community, but at the same time, I didn't feel as though I belonged in it because I felt like I was always excluded with a lot of stuff. So when it became, you know, to the NFT community, like the Black artists I met, I finally felt like, yo, these are my people. Like, you know, I just felt an instant connection. It felt nice to be included and I feel like I feel like, you know, like what's going on over there, you know? So it felt really nice to actually feel as though like I'm not alone. Like, even though like we all do different, like have different mediums of artwork, you know, we do different things. It was nice to know like we all have something similar with ourselves, and not just like the, you know, skin color or whatever, but it was like more of a just a like a family type vibe, which was really like refreshing and new because I never had that. I always felt like I didn't belong.
Mm-hmm. One thing that you've talked about that I think a lot of other artists can relate to is imposter syndrome. So you've said that throughout different parts, different times in your career, you experienced this, and perhaps you're still experiencing it today. How have you overcome it? And like, I mean, you're pretty open about it. So talk about what it means to you and what it feels like for you.
So I'm about to go for a walk. I'm walking. So but it has been it has been a I didn't even know what imposter syndrome was until like a couple years ago. I'm like, oh, there's a name for it because I always experienced this, you know. So I never knew there was a name for it, and for the longest time, I think that's why, like when I first started when I first started like showing my artwork on Instagram, like social media. I never showed my identity because I felt as though like, you know, what I'm doing is like, you know, weird. So it's like out of the ordinary. So I didn't think to like, I wasn't confident in I like owning my artwork. So it was just like, and I didn't think I was that good at it, even though I probably was pretty good at it. But at the same time, like, you know, people are better. So it took me a while to get to where I am today to be like this confident, because there are really times like you know, I think when you compare yourself to other people and like, you know, what they're doing, what you're doing, that also gets in your head. It's like, yo, how come they're getting this opportunity and I'm not? Like, is my work not good? You know, you start questioning all of that, and then you forget like, yo, like, no, look at your work. So I end up like, you know, over time I did a lot of like, you know, self work on myself, like a lot of inner, you know, finding myself and a lot of inner work and like inner growth and all that. And over time, I think, you know, I started saying like affirmations. I became more, you know, spiritual. And with that, it kind of made me like, you know, I made myself believe, you know, my work is, you know, the shit. So over time, it's like, you know, it is. And I'm like, yo, like all this self-doubt, you know, it, you know, slowly, you know, trickled down. And I was just like, yo, I'm really good at what I do, you know? And it took me a while to finally realize that, but to overcome it, I would definitely say you have to cancel the outside noise. You have to like focus on what you're good at and, you know, keep trying to improve. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing. And it's easier said than done because, you know, we live on social media at this point. So it's kind of hard to like not compare yourself to a lot of things, you know, other people are doing. But I think another thing I do that to make me like, you know, more confident in myself is looking at my old work and like, I didn't think it was that good back in the day, but it really wasn't that bad. I'm like, yo, like for someone my age at that time, you know, with like, you know, being self-taught, it was actually pretty good. So, you know, but imposter syndrome, it always, you know, comes back up. It's like, oh, what am I even doing in my life? You know, it's like, you know, you just start questioning everything. It's like, you know, girl, you doing a lot with your life. Calm down. I was like, all right, you're right. So yeah.
If you could change anything about the NFT space, what would it be?
Man, where do I start? Sad now. I would change a lot of things. I feel as though like when I entered the NFT space, you know, I thought it was like a new opportunity, you know, for digital artists, you know, be able to like sell their work, you know, as like, you know, how people do it like with paintings and galleries. But the thing I didn't realize, you know, NFT space is just like the way the world is in general with, you know, everybody else. So I think, you know, everybody's always talking about, you know, inclusion and community and all this, but I feel like people talk more than they do. I think what needs to be changed is how people actually, like, you know, make moves in the NFT space. I feel like they always try to use, you know, a lot of, like, you know, top names and stuff, but they don't really give a lot of, you know, I don't want to say, I'm going to say upcoming artists. They don't really give those people opportunities. I feel like we need more of those, like, different shows, exhibitions. And I think not separately, even with, like, you know, just, like, certain groups, but, like, as a collective, like, you can have, like, a really big artist. You have, like, you know, whatever you're going to call big artists, you know. And you have, like, you know, upcoming artists in, like, a few, like, half and half together. And then the exposure of, like, you know, the exhibition can really, you know, set people's careers off. You know, I feel like we need more of that. And that's something we're really missing because, you know, especially a lot of these, like, you know, different spaces and, like, websites for NFTs, you know, I feel like they kind of pick and choose who they want to, like, you know, have as, like, a, you know, a top artist because of, you know, sales. You know, money really runs a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I think there needs to be a lot of different changes in for that. And yeah, like I think there has been a lot of talk. I probably know it's like windy out here. There's been a lot of talk about, like, you know, women NFTs and how they have, like, the least amount of sales and stuff. And it's like, I'm not surprised because we women have been talking about this for months. So how there's, like, a chart coming out now where they actually showing the proof. It's like, you're like, oh my God, really? It's like, don't be surprised, you know? So it's like, you know, it's like, we've been talking about it, but y'all make these threads about where the women at, but don't do anything about it. So definitely something needs to change with that. But I feel like we're still in the beginning stages, so, you know, there's a lot to come forth. But at this point, I feel like we need to acknowledge it and make some actual movements instead of acknowledging it and then putting it to rest until someone else brings it back up because nothing has happened.
Yeah. I totally agree. Like I have a lot of fear that we're going to recreate the same imbalances that exist right now in the traditional art world, right? Like the
Yeah,
whole point of NFTs in this new art space is that we can create new ways of being. So if we're just going to recreate the same stuff, what's the point?
exactly, exactly.
You mentioned the idea the last time that we spoke about creating separate platforms or like creating platforms exclusively for certain groups. Do you still think that that's one way of fixing that?
Um, I feel as though creating a platform for separate groups, it could do like that wouldn't be a problem, but I still also believe those there should be also platforms that have all pieces of every group, you know? So I feel like, as an artist, I want to be, I wouldn't mind like, how everybody like, like Beeple, I wouldn't mind being next to like one of his pieces, at the same time, but I wouldn't mind being with my people. I feel as though there needs to be, inclusion in every single group, like a
Yeah.
little bit of everybody, instead of just having, all the people who are like people and like that's it. That's all you show. Like, what's the point? Like, what
Yeah.
about other people? What about other artists who could just one of those shows can change your whole life quickly?
Yeah. Totally agreed. Totally agreed. What are you hoping for the future for NFTs?
Um, I'm hoping to see more innovative ways that people can use NFTs in like the everyday world. Like I love how there's many gallery shows, exhibitions. As an artist, I love seeing my work in person, so I hope to see more of those curated spaces. Maybe like just I don't know. I think the possibilities are so endless. Like I think there's so many different things you can do with NFTs that you know but definitely, for me, definitely, I want to see more like gallery shows and exhibitions throughout the year because that's something I want to look forward to
In
in
person
art events.
or digital?
I would say both. Like I see, but even the exhibition I was just in, there was like there was a digital gallery, but the digital gallery was created by an amazing artist named Dark Mist, and like the architecture was insane. So like I wouldn't mind going in that digitally because it's like it looks like a real gallery and like also like somewhere you can just sit and chill virtually. So it was amazing. So I would say both.
I like that. Are you working on any projects right now that you want to talk about?
Oh yes, actually just finished one. I finished a new series. It's called Blossom. I think it's called Blooming Blossom. I always forget the names of my series, and it's part of my like floral portraits I've created, but this one's kind of different because it's kind of about change and new beginnings, and I created it because I'm a part of this new club called the Meta Art Club, and so it's a big opportunity for me, and for this series, I'm gonna probably do more. Like I did a set of three, and I've been posting like the little sneak peeks on my Instagram and on my Twitter and stuff. But when I reveal them, you're like, "Yo, this is amazing!" Like, it's like a whole upgrade from my series I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of double exposures, but now this one's like a double exposure, but except for it's like actual individual flowers or like flower bouquets I put on the pieces. So it's gonna be very. You can kind of sense the feeling I'm going for because it's really about like growth, expansion. I've used a lot of different colors for each piece because the colors also go with it. Like the first one's kind of very like it reminds me of springtime, and the second one's kind of like maybe kind of fall vibes, and then the third one is very like summery because I feel like seasons change and so do we. So I kind of use that as a way to show change and growth by having like the different flowers and like the different seasons in the pieces on the portraits I use.
Is it these ones?
Yes, yes, yes.
It's
That is
so
it.
beautiful.
Yes, thank. I can't wait to because like recently I've been wearing my afro out a lot. So like when I was creating it, I didn't even realize I'm making like making like afros with like but out of like flowers. I didn't realize I was doing that. So it's like yo, it's crazy how my subconscious is just like you're embracing yourself into your pieces without even knowing. Like, yo, facts. Like that's crazy. Like it's crazy.
I love that. Art as therapy.
Definitely, definitely. as I'm in nature, out here walking. So yeah.
And before we wrap up, what is the best way for people to keep in touch with you and see what you're up to?
I definitely say follow me on Twitter at Surrealist Shay, or follow me on my Instagram. Instagram, I kind of post every now and then because it's Instagram. But Twitter, you want to like get the raw Shay, in my full form. I host spaces sometimes. I'm in spaces sometimes. Definitely follow me on Twitter at Surrealist Shay. No spaces. If you type in Shay and Surrealist, either one's gonna pop up. So definitely follow me on my Twitter or my Instagram. If you want to like actually talk about business, email only. Um, but
Okay.
yeah,
Business is email only.
yes.
Okay.
Or on our website, but
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. I really appreciate it. This has been such a good conversation.
not a problem. Thank you for having me.
I'm really excited to see the completion of that series. I'm loving that piece in the middle in particular. This
I'll
one.
do yeah, yo, you're gonna be like, yo, you're gonna love yo. I'm gonna have to show you that. I might have to give you a whole sneak peek of that one because
Oh,
you deserve
please.
it. But
That
yo,
would,
like I'm telling you, the whole series together, you're like, yo, like it's gonna be I'm gonna make more. I'm gonna make more. I just never make more. But yeah, I'm so excited to show it off because like I think when I make pieces like that, it's like a reflection of me. So it's like, man, this is how I'm feeling right now. Like growth, man. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to show them.
Oh, I love that. I love hearing that. All right, so make sure to follow Shay on Twitter and, of course, here on Instagram. I'm sure you all are already following. Thank you again so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.